Hi. So, as some of you might have heard, I'm going to do a live seminar about Guided OBE with Rich, and a lot of you can join if you want to. And I've just had a few questions in the comments, so I thought I'll answer them. So, Daniel was asking, what should we bring or expect, and should we make any preparations beforehand? So, I'll tell you the idea. Like I was kind of like talking to Rich, and boom, the light bulb goes on, and I'm like, let's do this. I noticed that the way I work with people has changed over the years, and I used to fix it for them. That's what sells. I fix your problems, you don't do anything. But after a while, I got a little bit smarter and I found out that people don't really change if you fix it for them. Like they're not willing to change their habits and their beingness. And I switched to, hey, I can fix it for you, but how about I teach you how you can fix it for yourself and for others? And for me, that switched. And so I was talking to Rich, getting out of body. This is what a lot of people want. And this is what I do every day, as many times as I want, as often as I want. And it's not me being special or I'm a starseed or anything like that. No, every one of you can do it. It's everyone's ability. Everyone can do it at any point in time. And it doesn't have to be you fall asleep, your physical body is asleep, and you go out. You lift yourself up and you look at your body and like, oh, look, and then you fly away and you do stuff. It doesn't really work like that. I mean, it does, but it doesn't have to be that. You can be wide awake and get into a certain state, and you can be out within seconds. And it's that easy. And that's the idea what me and Rich are going to bring. So what you need to bring is the visual skills. If you can, let's say, imagine an apple in your hand or like a lemon, just like, how does it feel? How big is it? And you can already kind of like feel the taste and juice and everything else. That's upgraded. But if you can at least visualize an apple, a lemon, a pen in your hand and, see the details, like let's say, oh, okay, the apple has a little leaf over there and the color changes. There's a bit of green and a bit of red, or, like little bumps in the lemon and everything else. Like if you can see details, it doesn't have to be perfect, but at least up to 5 where you can at least sort of maintain the image. You can do it. You can get out of body like that. And me and Rich, we're just working like, hey, you have amazing ability. All of you do, if you can visualize. And for those that have a harder time, you can train that. It's a skill. Everyone can learn. It's a muscle. So for those that do have ability to visualize, at least a little bit, that's all it's required. Me and Rich are just going to work as guides of, hey, this is how you can use your ability and do exactly what we do and more. And so, first module we're taking is connecting to your sovereign self. And that is the idea like, hey, you have identified with this physical body and your life and who you are way too much. This is where we look at everything that has happened throughout your whole life, your issues, your problems, what you've been through. And, we identify like, maybe we have weaknesses. Maybe we are suppressed. Maybe we don't have some of the values, or like, we're kind of like, I wish I could be better. I don't have my sense of humor and everything else. And then when we're like wondering, why are we here? Like, what's my purpose? What can I do? And like all of these questions and all of these things that like creates our current today's identity. You're much more than that. You're God. You can do absolutely everything. You can create whatever you want. And that's where your visualization does it all. And for us, it's just like, hey, we're going to show you, or more like, we're going to help you use your skills to get it all back and be connected with your current state of who you are for real, who you were before coming here, who you are without the case of human physical body, that this aspect. And that sovereign self, like for me, I noticed that I've been changing a lot in a lot of positive ways for me. Like a lot of that doubt and like fears and shyness and other things that would get in the way of my life. I was like, what am I when I'm not in this physical body? And boy, do I love myself. I'm like, wow, like the beingness, the love I have. Like if this physical body has experienced some things that create some traumas, and now I see myself as limited being. If you have someone you love and they hurt you, and then you subtract your love, or you act in a way where I don't know how much of myself should I give, and you try to be like expressive and outspoken, like like speaking out and everything else, and people like, you should not do it, or you say something and you speak the truth and you hurt someone, and you're all of a sudden like, I don't want to hurt people, and you kind of like subtract, like, oh, I'm gonna say less, I'm gonna suppress my beingness, and we put this massive case on ourselves. And before coming on earth, or with this thinking that we have, you're everything. And this is the sovereign self. So, what you're expecting is to connect with that beingness, who you really are, without the case, without the limits, without the traumas, the true you. You are reaching out within. The truth is not out there. The truth is within you. And this is where Rich and I were like, you have amazing tools and you can use it all. And here's how. And we just show you a few examples. But the thing is, like, you actually do all the work. We're just kind of like guiding you, like, oh, look at this. Look what you can do. And then you do all the magic with like connecting to your true essence. Like, for example, when I think about if I'm a sovereign self, if I'm God, who am I? What's my real beingness? What's my true nature? And I see myself as an amplifier, like empowering others. I always like making things better, making it, like improving things somehow, just giving, doing stuff. And, like, let's just make it a bit better somehow. And that's me, like, like I'm constantly looking for ways here and there. And like, that's like, hey, that's what I'm about. And that's just one out of those many things, like unconditional love and, like other things. It's in there as well. But as you look into your life and what you're all about, what is your essence? What is your core beingness? And it doesn't have to be just here on earth, but like, like when you're looking at things, like, man, I love people. I love teaching. And you just look at that side of you that you have always wanted to be, but somehow you couldn't. And that's what we're going to connect to, like your sovereign self that has it all, not just that one aspect, but that's where you can see who you truly are. You're going to like visualize it, connect to that beingness of yours, talk to yourself, talk to your sovereign self, and, ask any questions you want. You can ask about your abilities. Why did you come here on earth? And it won't be me telling you stuff. You will hear it all yourself. You will see it all yourself. And any of you can do it, like any of you can reach within and have all those answers. So if you have visuals, this is where Rich and I are just like, hey, here's the thing we're going to do, a few commands that can guide you through and show you how. And then you'll know the process and you can do it any point in time whenever you want to. You don't need us anymore. Like, we're just like, hey, you have great ability. Let us show how you can use it a bit more. And that's it. And so, connecting to your, sovereign self, you just look at that essence and all these questions. I think it's like great. It's great to know your true beingness. Like on earth, you experience so many things that every day there might be incidents and events that kind of like put you in that case of physical human being that's somehow not doing too good on this earth, like whatever your story is about yourself. And then once you reach out, you see yourself for who you really are, like who you really are, the true God that can do everything. And you will see all your thinking. You can find out things that you need to know, get information, remember your past lives, remember certain, values or kind of thinking that you need to have in this life. And this is where, like the first module is all about us guiding you into that state, seeing who you really are, having you, get the answers that you want. And then the last thing for me, just like, not just like getting the answers, but connecting to that beingness and maintaining it. Like that true ability, like where, let's say for me, how does it feel being an amplifier, like making things better, where I see myself that I can be that little catalyst and impact life somehow. And, like just connecting with that beingness and bringing it here. And I'm no longer this physical suppressed human body. I am the real me. And, you can always do it all. Like, so, that's the first module. This is what you can expect. The second one, where we're connecting to, let's say, your star or soul family, to your friends, to your spirit guides, to your loved ones that are, like out there that you've had in the past lives that you currently have somewhere else, or even someone from this earth that have died. It's like your pick of who you want to connect to. For me, like there's a lot of beingnesses. I think about my great grandfather just because, like, I really love him. I love his beingness, his mindset, his kind heart. And there's also like the people I was with before coming here on earth. And it was like a very healing place, very loving place. Like, man, I like really miss it because like I didn't have to talk over there. Like the people I was with, my realm, my kind, I didn't had to be so limited. I didn't had hard time. Like people will literally be like able to connect to me and just know what I'm thinking and just know who I am without me having to explain anything. And like when I connected that beingness, like I get tears right now because it's just like, I know, like so empowering, and like I'm understood. They see me for who I am. It means so much to me. Like I have a friend, dear friend, Kimberly McGeorge, and I feel like finally someone knows exactly everything about me without me saying anything. And I love this feeling. And this beings I was with is exactly that. You know, like I didn't have to explain stuff. They just knew everything about me, and it felt great. Like not like CAA, like knows everything about you. No, like it's just more like, you know, sees you for who you are, acknowledges your beingness, your strengths, your powers, and you don't have to be like, oh, I'm mighty, I'm powerful. Like no, like hey, you're kind and loving, and that's all I need. Like, I'm like, oh, finally someone knows. So you know, like for me, connecting to that kind and connecting to that feeling, like finally, like getting like, like I'm seen, I'm understood, and to like get that acknowledgement, like when I connect with Kimberly and she does it to me, I'm like, I feel so freaking good. So if any of you have like soul families, like, and you know, you're gonna have many. We'll live for so many lives. We have tons of different families. You've been, let's say, with Arcturians and Andromedans and Pleiadians and so many other races. But there are times when you look like you have relationships with people, and some of them just stand out. Some of them just make your life much better. Out of everyone, you know, there's going to be one or two or more that will make a massive impact. And same goes to our, you know, families and friends and beings out there. Like someone out there just created a better impact in your existence, and you can connect to that being, whoever it is, you know, like whoever left that like mark in your life. You can connect to them, ask them questions again, like what were you doing, you know, connecting to like their story, understanding what you were about before coming here on Earth, for example, your true beingness, your missions, and you can actually like get the ideas of what you were doing and, you know, like what you're all about. And at the same time, you can offer help. Like you're here on Earth and your life might seem kind of small, maybe, or actually you might be doing a lot of stuff and that's awesome, you know, but some of us are looking for a greater purpose. And just because you're here on Earth doesn't mean that you're helpless, useless, and you can't do anything. You can actually connect to your family or beings or friends or anyone out there, and you can offer help because sometimes, you know, like, hey, you're God, and they're living in a world where they might have agreed to the things that are now currently limiting them, or you know, like they don't have certain abilities, they have forgotten, or they're playing by a certain game rules and everything else, and you can just jump in and say, hey, what can I do for you? And maybe just giving them some love, or you know, like connecting to them and actually, you know, like just having some conversations. There are a lot of things that they can ask you to do, and if you want to, you could jump in, and this is going to be your new activities. Like some people meditate, you can use your like visuals to do exact same process to connect your tribe, your friends, and just go with them and, you know, do some things. So that's like, for me, I know like when I connect to some groups, it just feels very refreshing. It's like, oh boy, did I miss some of those feelings? Like being on planet Earth, you can forget about some of those. But, you know, finally, like just taking some time and reaching back to who you really are and everything else will give you some clarity, will give information, and it will give you context, because eventually you can use those friends to like, hey, I need help here on Earth. I'm actually, stuff is happening in my life, and you can explain it to them. And, you know, whether they give you information, whether they teach you, or it's kind of like having these, you know, like sometimes you have this inspiration idea, and a lot of times it's actually just our friends giving us that idea and we think that's ours. Like not always, but it does happen a lot. And you know, whatever kind of help, you know, like where they're just going to protect you from certain beings or make sure, you know, you're doing better every day and all the stuff, like teaching you or like getting you out of body and everything else. And, like there's like varieties of things that you can get. So, you know, that's helpful. And the third module, what you can expect from that, you know, we're gonna explore the possibilities. Like for those that feel like their life is affected by the third party, like I'm talking about, you know, you can live your life here on Earth and it can be awesome, or it can be like, you know, iffy, but you're handling it. But some people, you know, see that the game is rigged. Like no matter how hard you try to manifest things, no matter how hard you're doing stuff, it's like there's always something happening that kind of like seems like I did all of what was said, and like I'll be understanding and try to manifest and thinking positive and all this stuff. So how come I get a complete opposite? And when they have that stuff happening, this is where the game is rigged, and this is where we're going to look into like some of the groups that can be affecting our lives in a negative way. And, whether they're in a spaceship or some underground base or, wherever, like some kind of room, you're going to go see them. And this is where, if you connect your sovereign self, for example, you know who you really are, your true beingness, how powerful you are. So you have this like beingness about you that like, damn, it's very strong. It's very empowering. You don't have any fear when you go meet any beings. You've also talked to your, let's say, friends and beings that you're close to, so you have help. And you don't have to do those steps at all. Like, it's completely fine. And you can go in the third one where, you're going to deal with those guys that are actually messing with you, if that's the case. And so this is where, for you, again, when I'm exploring, I have curiosity and I love learning. Like I've been, when I started my journey, like, oh, reptilians, bad guys, I'm going to fight them and kill them and have the justice. And eventually I found out that like, hey, you can have a conversation before actually smashing their face. That's what I started doing. And like, I learned a lot of things. I learned like, not all of them are bad, just like people, like not all people are good. Not all humans are good. Not all people like, or humans are bad. And same with other races. You can have one dog lick you and love you, and you can have one dog that has rabies and just bites you and just like, like really aggressive because of what happened to them. And everyone actually has a story behind their life and what they're doing and their actions and their circumstances. So when I learned that I can actually talk to people instead of pushing and like smashing their face, like, hey, you can actually learn a lot. So my curiosity really helped me out in life. And now when I deal with beings, it really depends on circumstances, but a lot of times, like 80% or 90% of times, I'm just trying to talk about stuff. And I learn a lot. I learn a lot of information about what's going on in the multiverse, what's going on in certain realms, how's humanity affected, like abilities and everything else. I found like so many stories, and that's where, how I make videos. Like a lot of times, like I don't read, I don't look at stuff, but when I get out, when I talk to people, it's like, oh, cool. Like, and I just like, I take notes, and then some stories like relate like, oh, same, like 5 different beings from the multiverse say the same thing. Cool. That's like something to consider. And, just some of the aspects, and like, it just helped me understand reality better and just sort of like put those stories together to have my own beliefs about how life is. So you can do it all. Like, ask certain questions, like, why are you being attacked? And then they're going to answer like, like maybe it's just you. Maybe they have a group of people that are actually messing with, and you're involved in like one out of many. So, whatever comes up, you can ask like various questions to just get clarity, information. And, like once you understand what the problem is, you can look for various solutions. Because if you're like working on the car, like your car doesn't start, and you open up the hood and like, okay, there's this and there's that, and you're looking at things. If you don't know what the problem is, you're going to be stuck. But if you can figure out like, oh, well, this or just oil or, engine or certain things, like once you know exactly what the problem is, it's very easy to fix. And same thing, like, like once you talk to those, let's say, beings that are messing with you and understand why are they doing this to you? And, you can ask all these questions to help you out so that you would have enough context for your situation. Then you can deal it in many ways, like whether you go into your past life and rewrite everything. And, it's going to go in split ways where there's like reality where this happened and there's reality where that happened. And you can just jump on this one where, like you recreated, but now these beings have decided that in this reality, they're going to leave you. They're no longer going to affect you, or maybe even the whole group, and you are the one fixing it. And you gave them what they needed, like whether it was the war that has caused some things or personal stuff or some challenge or some deception, like whatever happens, you can deal with them. Or if situation goes sideways and they're pissy off and maybe they're playing the role of really aggressive psychopathic beings that don't give a damn about you, then you can use your guns of imagination and turn those beings into something like little bubbles or kittens or something, or just spray them with love and like various things that you can do to deal with them. And we're going to give you all the tools and give you lots of ways of how you can, like just handle them. And in all these 3 modules, we're going to do a Q&A. I can do the like live quick scan if some of you want more information about what's going on. But like the thing is, like, there's a lot that can happen, and we're gonna like work over like more than 2 hours, so like plenty of time to cover everything else. But that's about like what you can expect. Like for me, I'm like, I've never done something like this before, but man, like let's try something new and let's see if people like it, and maybe we can do it more if it goes. So, what should you bring? That would be your visuals. That would be your visuals and your curiosity. Because if you ask the right questions, and we're going to help you out with those if you need any help, like visuals to get the work done. No, that's the thing. Preparations beforehand, pretty much try making sure you don't have any present time problems. Like, let's say if you parked somewhere, like you're in a hotel and you parked your car in the wrong place where you might get a ticket and you're trying to do your work with us, your mind will constantly go, how much time do I have to move my car because I don't want to get a ticket? That's all you can do. Just take care of present time problems. If you need to handle certain people, reschedule things, or, like, hey, guys, I have a lot of my hands. I'm not going to do this thing. That's fine, but it would be best to have your full attention over there so that you could have as many benefits as possible. Other than that, that's like, we're going to give you everything we can. So that's about it. I haven't done anything like this before. So for me, it's going to be new. Of course, I'm really lucky to have Rich help me out. Like, he's worked with groups, but for me, it's like learning experience, and learning you will teach, and then teaching you will learn. Like, it's all, goes both ways, but I'm really, really happy to do it. And shifting the work where, a lot of people don't realize how powerful and amazing they are. And maybe you're one of them too. Like me too. Like, sometimes I forget how amazing I am or the things I can do. Like, sometimes I get stuck with this human body or the mindset or things that happen in everyday life that I need, like, hey, wake up. Like, you're not this, you're not the problem. Go look at things from a different point of view and just deal with it from there. And you have to back out and see, like, damn, don't be stuck in your physical body and the mindset and the case. You can do so much more when you get out. That's why I'm pretty much not in my physical body most of the time. But hey, if you want to give it a try, I hope this sort of answers some of the questions and gives you any information that you might have needed. And hey, if you have more questions, feel free to ask. I'll answer it all I can. And hey, thank you for watching. And I'm really glad I get to share this with you guys. So looking forward to seeing some of you on February 12th. And we're going to be doing it on the 12th, the 19th, 26th, around 8 p.m. Lithuania time, 10 a.m. California time. So, times will be over there. So hopefully, you get all the answers and stuff. And I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.